Man, we are excited to be here.
Yes, we are. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How you guys doing?
Everybody say, we live. Woo! I love that energy. My name is Dedric Krystal. This is my beautiful, gorgeous, intelligent wife, Krystal Polite.
I'll take that.
Isn't she fine, guys? All right, that's enough. But we are Be Polite Properties. We are from North Carolina. We grew up in Boston. Boston in the house?
Any Boston?
North Carolina?
Hey!
So, you wanna go a little bit into the intro?
So, we are Be Polite Properties. We are a family-owned business. We are a family hustle. And just to let you guys know a little bit about what you're gonna learn from us today, building a business as a couple. Everything we do is driven by being a couple and it being two of us to be able to do what one person could do. So you're gonna learn how we started through Airbnb. We own franchises. We bought and sold franchises. We were actually flipping businesses before we were flipping houses. Understanding our strengths and weaknesses as a couple is extremely important. How we build a business together as a couple. Deal Machine. Everybody here know about Deal Machine? If you don't, you will by the time we get off this stage.
Yes. Deal Machine has totally transformed our business. So we owe a ton to them.
Absolutely. So you're going to learn how we use Deal Machine. And we get a million DMs, emails, messages. And I know a lot of you guys get emails from us, from the actual app itself, asking us for different things, different questions and stuff like that. So we're going to definitely give you guys some tips and tricks to how we use Deal Machine and how it has literally skyrocketed our business. What else, babe?
Yeah, so wholesaling. Wholesale to buy and hold. That's our philosophy. We wholesale to buy and hold. And we're going to go into why we buy and hold and why you want to generate that passive residual income, the benefits of that. Joining a mastermind. I know Max and Scott spoke about why you should join a mastermind. We joined a mastermind before we had done any deals yet.
Right.
Because we knew that we needed to get around like-minded people that were motivated, that were on a higher level than us, so we could level up. Why you should find a mentor. We have several of our mentors in the room today that have poured into us.
Our very first mentor ever is here. She's, I think, way in the back over there.
Stand up, Tracy.
She
way
was
in the back.
Literally our very first mentor ever. Like, it was amazing to see her here. Now we have some amazing mentoring coaches. Mr. Robinson and Miss Robinson is one of them.
Absolutely.
Like, y'all have seen him, so you all already know how amazing he is and how funny. If you don't know how funny Mr. Robinson is, please speak with him during the break. You'll find out.
He'll have you in tears. So.
Our why.
That's our why. Our two sons, 5 years old and 2 years old.
You see that hustle? You see that hustle? Those are our babies. That is our why. And not so much because we have them, but because of what we want them to be able to achieve from our sacrifices right now. So that's really our why, because we want their kids to be financially free.
So what is our core focus? Our core focus is to build a high volume, 100-deal-a-year wholesaling business. And we're going to use that business to fuel our rental portfolio. So with that cash that we make from wholesaling, we're pouring that cash not into Lambos, not into new clothes and new sneakers, which, as you guys can tell, I like nice clothes, I like nice things, but we're rolling that over into rental properties to produce passive income and financial freedom. That is our core focus for our business. So as far as background, I'll tell a little bit about my background. Again, my name is Dedric Polite. On Instagram, at Dedric Polite, Dedric Mr. Real Estate. Was born in South Carolina, grew up in Boston, and grew up in the inner city of Roxbury in Boston. Single parent household. My mom was on Section 8. raising 3 boys by herself. I'm the oldest of 3 boys. And the neighborhood I grew up in was plagued by violence. It was plagued by drugs, drive-by shootings. Yeah, I know when I walk down a side street today, I still always look over my shoulder just because I had a couple friends who were killed in drive-bys in my neighborhood growing up. So it was a tough environment. But education is one of the things that got me out. Getting educated, going to school. I was able to go to a private high school on a full scholarship, one of the most prestigious high schools in Boston. That opened up the door for me getting into Amherst College, which is an Ivy League college up in Massachusetts. Graduated from there in 2004. And what did I do? I went into corporate America, right? What do they tell us? Go to school, get a good job with benefits, work there 30, 40 years, retire, and hopefully you have a good life. So I followed that plan. But what I realized is once I got into corporate America, I realized that the ladder was leaning up against the wrong wall. It wasn't a ladder that I wanted to climb, right? So I started looking for ways to make extra money, and one of my most important decisions and best decisions was finding this woman right here and deciding to marry her.
I agree.
Because she saw potential in me that I didn't see in myself. She's someone that demanded more of me than I even demanded of myself. And once we got together, it was just, the sky was the limit. So I'll let her tell a little bit more about her background.
And so I am Krystal Polite, social media, Miss Be Polite. I too am from Boston by way of North Carolina, but I grew up in Boston, went to college, Northeastern University in Boston. From there, I've been an entrepreneur since I was 18 years old. I knew from day one, I was originally going to school for law, but my plan was to own a law firm, hire homeless people to work, and train them for the skills that I wanted them to do. So I have, from 7 or 8 years old, have always had the mentality of an entrepreneur. I ended up, my freshman year in college, writing, directing, producing a stage play, and took it on tour from Massachusetts all the way down to Florida. So at 19, I had a production of about 40 people. Didn't know what I was doing. Lost millions of dollars, made a ton of money. Did not save any of it because as a 19-year-old, I didn't want to let my mother know I was bringing in 40, 50,000 a show. So what did I do? I hid that. So I learned a lot. I learned about partners, and not picking the right one will put your back up against the wall. So after I got out of that, I went into corporate America. I knew that wasn't where I wanted to stay. So I ended up with a nonprofit and started from there building my business plan at an early age. So that is my story. How to build a business as a couple.
So when you're building a business as a couple, our target audience is actually everybody in this room. If you're married, you're dating somebody, or you're just a single person trying to do wholesaling, you still need to understand how to build a business as a couple, because your business partner, whoever you decide to partner with, that's like a marriage in business. You're gonna have to work with that person. You're gonna have to, and one of the keys to building a business as a couple or as a team is complementing strengths and weaknesses. You want someone that complements your weaknesses and your strengths. So, visionary and the integrator. She's the visionary, I'm the integrator. This comes from a book called Traction by Gino Wickman.
Right, it's important in your businesses, in a relationship, you identify who is the visionary, who is the integrator very early on, so you know to stay in your roles, stay in your lane. I knew early on I was a visionary. I knew from day one I was a visionary because every business idea that came about came through my visions. But I also knew my lane wasn't the integration part. Now I can think of it all day. I can do my research to bring it to you, but I passed the baton when it came to actually putting the wheels in motion to actually integrate what my vision is, and that's where my husband comes in.
Yes, so my wife is such a visionary. We'll be driving down the street and she'll see a vacant piece of land at a corner. And she'll say, you know what, that will make a great seafood restaurant. And I'm like, really, seafood? Like, where'd that come from? Just out of nowhere. 6 months later, there'll be a seafood restaurant right there with a line around the corner. And I'm like, how do you see this stuff? Like,
and I, like any woman, will say, I told you so.
Yep, she'll remind me, I told you so. But she has this mind that sees things before it happens, and I recognize that. Me as the integrator, as she's describing her vision to me, I'm the operations guy. I'm already thinking about, okay, what are the 1, 2, 3s, the ABCs, the X's and O's of executing her vision? It's just how I'm wired. The numbers, the analysis, breaking everything down. How do we implement this? What are the strategies? What are the tactics? So it's a perfect complement with the visionary and the integrator. So find that in your business. If you're an introvert and you don't like talking to people, partner up with someone that's loud, that's out there, that loves talking to people. Make that person your partner. And the same thing is the opposite. If you're an extrovert and you're out there and you love seller appointments and you love talking to people, get that guy on the computer to do your lead generation, to do your analytics, to break down the data. Have that person on your team.
So, our first business together was Airbnb. And just to give you a little backstory on how it came about.
Yeah, this is actually her old apartment in Boston. She lived in this 1-bedroom, 1-bath apartment when we met. And just to rewind it all the way, our first date was like an interview. So we exchanged business cards when we met at a gas station. Neither one of us ended up pumping gas that day.
I pumped, he didn't.
And after we left, she called her best friend and said, I just met the man I'm gonna marry. I called my best friend and said, I just met the woman I'm gonna marry.
And then he went and found me on Facebook and sent me a friend request.
So I am no longer friends with him today, but I was like, really? You gonna send him a friend request? Come on, man. But yeah, so our first business was Airbnb.
So we were actually just dating, and I say that because as I go on, you'll understand the importance of recognizing your significant other's weaknesses and believing in each other. We were dating. He had just gotten fired from his corporate job.
Yes, I was canned. They canned me. I was doing sales,
and he
wasn't hitting the number,
depressed,
and I got fired.
So I talked to him, I said, listen, and he was like, and I could recognize those signs of depression in him. So I spoke to him, I said, hey, listen, what's going on? And he was just like, oh, I can't believe I got fired. And I told him, I said, listen, you didn't lose a job. That job lost you. I said, don't ever tie your worth into any job, ever. I said, you now take the skills that you've learned, the educational background that you have, and you apply that to your own job, something that you love to do. And he was like, yeah, you're right. I said, now what we're gonna do is.
That's how she said it.
What we're gonna do is you're gonna take this time and you're gonna take that little unemployment check and you are going to build. You're going to educate yourself. Find what you love to do and work on that. I will hold us down. I will pay these bills.
Woo! Hey. Fellas, that's how you know. That's how I knew I had to keep her. I knew it. I knew it before then, but it just further solidified.
But through that, he was able to sit down. He started a consulting business that blew up, doing what he was doing for someone else, making more, doing it now for himself. From there, he ended up coming across Airbnb. This is 2012, before it boomed. He called me, he said, hey, I think we can make some money renting out your apartment. I said, really? He said, yeah, it's rented out to people, they come, they stay, da-da-da. And I said, oh, okay. He was like, but your brother lives there. I said, my brother did live there. set it up. I'll call him, give him that 2-week notice.
He wasn't paying rent anyway.
Wasn't paying rent, wasn't paying bills, nothing. I said, set it up, I'll give him his 2-week notice. We were dating, but I saw and I believed in him. Whereas most people don't believe in husbands and wives, but we were dating. And I said, listen, if I know this is the man I'm gonna marry, listen, we'll jump together, get wings on the way down.
Woo!
I knew. Hey!
Yeah. Cut that check.
I knew and I believed in his abilities. I didn't need a business plan. I didn't need him to come bring me more facts. I need to know more. I believed in him. So I said, let's rock, let's do it, whatever we need to do, let's make it happen.
Absolutely.
Our second business, oh, just so you know, we did Airbnb for about 4 months. It made a little over $60,000.
Yeah.
Just from him and him believing in what his abilities were.
And we learned how to work together.
Absolutely.
She still had a job. I was running the Airbnb. She was helping me. That was our first time working together. We learned likes, dislikes, what our strengths and weaknesses were. So our second business was a franchise. So this was in 2015. I was selling software for a startup in Durham, North Carolina, and the company lost its funding. So I knew layoffs were coming because they lost a $5 million contract for funding. This time I was prepared. So what I did was we were looking at franchises. We wanted to start a business. We even had a franchise consultant who was out there vetting franchises for us to buy into. And I talked to my financial advisor. I said, listen, I'm trying to buy a business. We've been going to these different banks and stuff, and they've turned us down for small business loans. Can you help? And he said, you have a 401k, right? Through your job, you've been working yeah, I have a 401k. He said, you can actually borrow the money from your 401k to start a business.
Yep.
It's called you can set up a solo 401k. So that's what I did. I borrowed $50,000 from my 401k from working all those years in corporate America, and we bet on ourselves to start that business. You want to tell about how we found the business?
So I was, as a visionary, online looking for really unconventional businesses. I didn't really want to create another job for us because I still had my corporate job. He had just gotten another corporate job. So I didn't want to create another job. I wanted something that was going to give us passive income and that we didn't have to be there every day. So I'm doing some research online. I came across a couple photos of this. Done research, found who the guy was, brought it to my husband. I said, oh my God, I think I found it. I said, amazing. It's these animal scooters. They go around the mall. Da-da-da. Brought it to him. He looked. He was like, no.
I said, no. This can't be a real business. What is this?
So I said, okay. I went back, did a little bit more research, got numbers to it and projections and the actual guy's entire financials. Brought it back to him, and he was like, okay, let's make this happen. I'd already had a phone number to a franchise owner. Now, let me show you how this ties in. My husband called this guy and talked to him. Hey, I know you got some, a business over here, not that far from us. Asked him about it. Hey, are you, maybe interested in selling it? This is a business, not a house. Are you possibly interested in selling it? Well, I hadn't really thought about it. He said, well, I'd love to buy it. Well, you know what? I do live in Alabama, Mississippi.
Yeah.
I'm
he was
not
a motivated
there.
seller.
I'm absentee. It's, a lot of headaches. He was like, I might be interested, but I actually have 2 locations that I'd be willing to sell you.
So this guy lived in Mississippi. He was an entrepreneur. He had these animal scooters, and these are little scooters you can ride around the shopping mall, and kids can rent them to ride through the mall for like $10 for 30 minutes and $6 for like 10 minutes. So he had 11 locations, but he lived out of state. So he was a motivated seller. He had 2 in North Carolina. He's in Mississippi. He's like, you know what? I'm tired of driving 11 hours to go to my North Carolina locations. Light bulb went on. I said, okay, well, how would you like to sell it? Sure, give me $80,000. You can have both locations. We go back and forth. I'm negotiating. Some of the stuff I learned before even meeting Max, we got him down to $43,000. So we bought the business for $43,000. Again, I used the money from my 401k to buy it. And that business at the time was generating $200,000 a year in revenue. We grew it to 3 locations, about 15 employees, and mind you, I had gotten another corporate job during this time frame. She was still working, so this was an absentee business, which is what we were looking for. We weren't at the kiosk. We didn't want to sit at the mall making $10 an hour at the kiosk. We wanted a business that would produce cash flow for us passively, and that's what that was. So let's fast forward to March 22nd, 2018. That picture right there is one of Max's first meetup. That's my wife and I sitting down, listening to Max talk about how we can make millions in wholesaling. That's exactly a year ago today.
Literally.
Give it up. So guys, you can change your whole life in 1 year. Our life has changed from real estate investing in 1 year. We were sitting there, we hadn't done a deal yet. We were learning, we were taking action, we were making mistakes. We hadn't closed one wholesale deal, but we refused to give up. We had invested too much money, time, blood, sweat, and tears into this business, so we were gonna make it happen no matter what.
And some of the things that you don't see in this picture is our takeaways. So I know a lot of you guys will speak to Max and speak to some of the other speakers, but you got to really listen to what they're saying. When we're listening to our coach and mentors and they're talking, we are literally listening to what they're saying. Max said at this meetup, he was like, yo, listen, y'all, it's 2 of y'all. It's amazing what y'all are already doing business-wise. He was like, as soon as you guys get one person in the business full-time, he was like, you're going to skyrocket. The day that I fired my boss, June 8th of last year.
Woo! Live?
We ended up contracting 5 deals that week.
Yes.
And shot straight up ever since, to the point where our leads were overwhelming. I had to stop and cut marketing, but it was just from takeaways from him. And let me give you a real funny story. Max is not just changing lives through real estate. He is literally bringing families together. So we were all at Max's, his last meetup, I believe it was, and we were up there speaking, and a couple of others. I think it was LT, Lawrence, he was up there. Lafayette, and another guy named Tommy. And Max introduced him. I heard his name. I said, Holt. I said, I'm a Holt. Where are you from? And he was like, where are you from? I told him a little small town. He was like, I'm from there too. I said, really? He was like, we exchanged numbers, started texting back and forth, showed my mother, he showed his grandfather. It turns out we are literally cousins. And he's over there, standing up.
Cousin Tommy.
Cousin Tommy. Literally, he is bringing families together, y'all. Stop this. But I just find that to be hilarious because I would have never known that. Like, literally, my mother was like, that's my great-grandmother's brother. That's how related and closely we are at a meetup. So you never know. Go to these meetups, y'all. For real, for real. You might have a brother or something.
And guys, so she went full-time. Again, we fired her boss June of 2018. Right. I still have a corporate job. I still have a corporate job today. So I work full-time in our business, about 40, 50 hours a week. And then my corporate job, I work from home. I sell software to real estate companies. They actually know that I own a business. I told them this. I said, listen, I'm running a franchise. I'm not looking for a job. They were like, hey, we'll pay you 6 figures. I said, no, I'm good. I got a business. You can work from home. I said, okay, hold on. I can make 6 figures. I can work from home. I can still run my business. Okay, great. I took the job. And so I'm just saying that because I know 95% of you all still have jobs, W-2 jobs. That's fine, right? It's not for everybody to quit their job on day one. Actually, my job benefits me. It helps us in getting financing. When we go to the bank and they see I have a solid job making over 6 figures on my W-2 and I have an 800 credit score, hey, what loan do you want? How much do you need for this property?
Yes.
So leverage your job. Leverage that W-2 income because a lot of times it's easier, not a lot of times, 100% of the time it's easier for a W-2 employee to get a mortgage than it is for an entrepreneur who only has 1-2 years of experience as an entrepreneur. So let's talk about what you guys are all here for, to learn about. How the heck are y'all making all this money with Deal Machine?
Right.
So, Mike, go
why
ahead.
use Deal Machine? So for us, how we found and came upon Deal Machine was I was watching a video of Max's with the three, I believe it was 3 things he used every single day. It was Deal Machine, Land Glide, and something else. So I downloaded the app, and I downloaded Land Glide. I was looking at it, brought it to my husband. I said, hey, listen, I think we should use this app because we were really at a standstill on how to do direct marketing. We had no clue, and we didn't want to shell out $10,000, $15,000, which you hear people say, oh,
Listen,
I spent $10,000 in marketing.
Not
I
everybody's
spent
Scott
$40,000.
Oops, where you can send out 140,000
Right.
mailers.
So,
We had a checking into savings, and our account couldn't support that type of checking into savings.
the way they set up. So I told him, I said, listen, I think we should really use this app. It looks really good.
It's a Deal
He
Machine.
looked
What's
at
that?
it, he was like, no. I said, okay, great, we're using it. So
That's what she said.
I literally we started driving. I would tell him, slow down, slow down. Let me get this picture. He had no idea. He still didn't want anything to do with the app. I'm taking pictures. I'm making him go like 20 miles per hour. I done recruited my mother who's retired. My mother's uploading like 100 properties a week. We are rocking and rolling. I quit my job. We have 5 contracts. He's like, man, this cold calling is working out.
We're doing a lot of cold calling.
I said, these are not cold calling leads. These are
So
all
where'd these leads come from?
I said, this is Deal Machine. He was like, what is Deal Machine? I said, that's the app. He was like, well, let me look at that app real quick. Let me see what's going on with this app. That's literally how it started. So we literally at that point started to shift our marketing and started to invest more into Deal Machine because we were seeing the ROIs with it. Some of the deals that we've done, depending on your market, a lot of the deals that we've done have been from tired landlords. So my market is very specific. We are virtual. Deal Machine has allowed us to be virtual. We originally was doing North Carolina and Boston, and we were wondering how I was going to really market to the Boston market, being in North Carolina. Deal Machine allowed that. It literally allowed our entire business to be virtual. From there, I told my husband, I said, listen, a little hack that I came up with.
She hacks the marketing like
Listen.
a genius.
I use Deal Machine for stuff that I don't even think Deal Machine know I use it for, okay? I have used that app in ways you all would not believe. And my husband's like, hey, listen, he'll tell you about a deal that we did later. He was like, hey, listen, what are we gonna do with this marketing, da-da-da. I knew I wanted to scale. So what did we do? Deal finders. I started recruiting people to drive for us. But I encourage everyone who's starting out, start with a mama, a daddy, a brother, uncle, cousin. Learn with them first. Don't dive in and be like, let me get 40 deal finders, and you don't have your process down, because now you look unprofessional in front of them. And that's a lot of questions that I get sent to us. Document your process first with people who will understand what you're trying to do. Some of the deals that we've done.
So this is just one of the leads we got for Deal Machine. And mind you, we've been wholesaling we closed our first deal less than a year ago, put it like that. We're talking to this seller. That's a picture of me meeting with a seller. He has a 16 acres in a super hot area of North Carolina. It's a land development deal. We wouldn't have been in that conversation without sending him a postcard. He's like, look, I got a trash bag full of postcards. But it was something about that postcard. I saw a picture of my property. It said polite on there. I just felt I had to call it.
Now, remind you, it's land. So what did I do? Deal Machine doesn't necessarily have a way to put land in there. So I took pictures of the woods. I hacked it to put his address into it, what showed up on Land Glide. That was the way I was using Land Glide and Deal Machine together. I think Deal Machine, you can do that now on its own. But I used Deal Machine and sent out a ton of postcards to landowners. Same picture of the woods on all the postcards. I didn't go by and take a picture of their land. I just had one land picture and I used it for everyone. And we literally got maybe a ton of callbacks, 5 land that we bought and held ourselves. So we took it down ourselves. We're now in contract phase with this guy to do some creative financing just to take this one down. That's another way Mr. Robinson comes into play, just to let y'all know.
So mobile home parks. We are now in negotiations to buy 4 mobile home parks. For those who don't know, there's millions to be made in trailer parks.
Yes.
This is the hottest sector of multifamily. You got people from California, New York, Israel, China trying to buy US trailer parks. Why? They're cash cows. So we're literally negotiating with 4 different sellers in our area to buy their mobile home parks. Our first goal is we want to take them down ourselves. We wholesale to buy and hold. We cherry pick the best deals and keep them for ourselves, and the other ones we wholesale out. So this one is put the icing on the cake here. So this deal was in Boston. Mind you, we live in North Carolina. We're from Boston. We sent them a postcard. They called us back. We started negotiating. This is a 3-family, a triplex in Boston, Massachusetts. These triplexes, the ARV is $500,000 per unit. When they're renovated, converted into condos, they will sell for $500,000 per unit. So 3 times $500K, $1.5 million is the ARV of that little greenhouse up there. We got it under contract, sight unseen, over the phone for $475,000. This is all virtual. We knew it was in a hot zone. We knew the data. We knew in that neighborhood everything's being converted into condos. We called a couple cash buyers. We ended up selling it for $585,000. So we made a $105,000 wholesale fee. Thank you. Mind you, this is all over the phone. We never saw the house. We didn't see it until we closed on it and we went up to Boston and was like, oh, this house made us 6 figures in one wholesale deal.
Our acquisitions manager in Boston made $10,000 for going to the property.
Twice he went to the property.
He went to the property twice, couldn't get in, left. And he made $10,000 just for going to the property. Oh, ain't nobody out here, left, came back, oh, still no one out here, left, and made $10,000.
We gave him 10% of our spread. So he was our boots on the ground. You may say, how do you do a deal in Boston? You're in North Carolina. We sent our acquisition manager there to meet with the seller, try to get some information, try to get some pictures. He went twice and was unsuccessful, but because we're men and women of our word, we still paid him $10,000 for that.
Make sure before you get into another market, you have boots on the ground. Whether you need them or not, for every single deal, some deal you will need them for. So make sure you have somebody available to go if need be. Multi-channel marketing.
Multi-channel.
All roads for us lead to Deal Machine. And I say that because we cold call, we text message,
ringless voicemail,
and how our marketing,
bandit signs. We do a little bit of everything.
Everything.
For marketing.
So when I am pulling our list and we send them out for them to be cold called, anyone that our cold callers don't hit on these lists, they send back to us. We hit them with a text message. Anyone who don't answer through text, they send it back to us. And it's uploaded into Deal Machine. You have no idea how many calls back we get on that third hit from Deal Machine. And it's just because people are like, hey, you were by my house the other day. Oh, really? What state? What state is that? What's the property address? And another little hack I did, I upload lists, full lists into Deal Machine. That's how we got that 6-figure deal. I uploaded a very filtered list of 76 properties into Deal Machine. I went on Google Maps and snapped a shot of the photo of the house on Google Maps, cropped it, uploaded it into Deal Machine.
That's a hack, guys.
From there, we sent them out. From just that little filtered list of about 76, we got about 5 of those properties. So Now, every list that we have, I have a VA who will upload them all. And as she's uploading, I have another VA taking the pictures, snapping them on Google Maps, uploading the pictures.
That's how you become virtual.
That's how we became virtual. And they're cranking out 300-400 properties a day they can upload, because that's all they're doing is that. That's why I say for us, all roads lead to Deal Machine, because eventually every property of ours is gonna hit Deal Machine. Deal Machine may not be for everyone, but it has definitely catapulted our business.
By show of hands, who does not have the Deal Machine app on their phone? Does not? Okay. Those guys are out in the lobby. Make sure you see them. Make sure you use our code, Be Polite.
That's right.
When you sign up, you'll get your first 30 postcards for free.
Right.
But I'm telling you, it's a game changer, guys. So how do you scale Deal Machine, right? Because we have over 3,000 mailers going out every month through Deal Machine. We're only 2 people, so we couldn't have found those 3,000 properties ourselves. We did not. I put in maybe like, what, 80, 100 myself personally.
100.
She might have done 100. We scale it, you scale Deal Machine through Deal Finders. Deal Finders.
We actually have one of our top earning deal finder is here today. Her name is Alberta.
Miss Alberta, can you stand up?
Oh, there she is.
Stand up. It's our #1 deal finder.
Right there.
We flew her out here for this event.
Got her a ticket. We said, listen, she was contacting Dedric in regards to how to take down her first investment property.
Yes.
And we said, he had told me about it. So as we're driving, I text her. He didn't even know. I text her, hey, would you like to go to this conference? She texts me back like, absolutely. I said, okay, listen, my assistant will contact you with the flight information, your ticket information, it'll all be taken care of. She'll contact you with the details and the dates. As my husband heard me call our assistant and say, hey, listen, I need you to look up flights for such and such, he's driving, he's like, and I said, oh yeah, we're gonna bring her to the conference. Why? Because anyone that you're asking to do something for you, you have to be willing to give something back.
Absolutely. We love.
The thing about it with us, we are go-givers. We don't want our deal finders to be just deal finders. You have access to us. Ask us anything you want. Contact us for any help you want. We have to invest in them the way that they're investing in our business. So for you guys who have deal finders, in between these times that they're not getting paid and stuff, think of ways to help them. We'll pay for lunch for them on a Friday. Like, make sure that you are taking care of the people who are really pouring into your business. Don't just have deal finders and let it be that. Like, okay, find me some deals. If I close, I'll give you some money. We want them to eventually evolve, get into wholesaling, get into buying wholes, fixing stuff, whatever it is they want to do, and we're willing to invest in them and give them our time.
We're even advising her on buying her first duplex. She wants to buy an investment property. We're telling her exactly what she needs to do a buy and hold investment property.
How we pay our deal finders. In hot markets of ours, like the Bostons, the Phillies, we give our deal finders $2 per every approved lead, which means if it fits our buying criteria, we will approve it. If it doesn't, we'll give a rejection reason as to why. $2 for every approved lead. They get paid on the 15th and the 30th of every month. For not so hot markets where the price points are a little less, we give $1 per approved lead. Same thing, 15th, 30th of every month. So we're giving them something to incentivize them to keep going in between deals being closed. So definitely look for ways to incentivize them to keep going. Don't get frustrated, because I'm gonna tell you now, you may have 40 deal finders, see how many you have in 6 months.
Yeah.
It is going to trickle off.
It's about quality.
What you need is an Alberta on your team. She uploads between 200 and 250 properties every week. Not month, every week she's uploading between 200 and 250 properties, and she's driving these properties. She's not cheating and going online. She's literally going to these properties and uploading them. So get an Alberta, 1 or 2, 3 good Albertas on your team, And it will make all the world of a difference, trust me.
And we find a lot of deal finders through social media. We go on social media, we're posting, we're documenting our process, doing what Gary Vee has done, doing what Max has done, and just say, hey, anybody looking to make extra money while you're going throughout your daily business, you see a house, we have an app, take your camera out, snap a picture, we'll send them a postcard, and if we close a wholesale deal, you get 10%. And again, that $1 to $2 per deal, that's just extra money that comes in to keep them going for little gas money and stuff like that. So as far as, the results, so we're sending out about 4,000 mailers a month. And again, we were against direct mail before because we didn't know how it worked and we didn't want to throw away money. But we're sending about 4,000 mailers a month. That gets us about 100 phone calls, 100 to 200 phone calls, and that closes 3 to 5 deals per month for us.
Now, so it puts it in perspective for you. A lot of those deals are from tired landlords who own and have 30, 44, 50 properties that they now want to get rid of.
These are whales.
These are whales. We are now in negotiations with about 7 to 8 whales landlords who want to get rid of all their properties. So we are in creative deals with them. Some of them we're buying, they want to do it one a month. Some is like, hey, I'll give you 3 a month. We have one that is like, we're wholesaling like 2 to 3 a month, and then the ones that we want to buy and hold, we're doing seller financing because him and his wife want to make sure that they still can have some type of passive income coming in. They're just afraid to sell everything, probably because he liked to go to the casino. That's what I'm guessing. But they want to make sure they have some income coming in. They're in their 80s.
Yeah, 83.
So all of these sellers are like 70, 80, 90 years old. So always look for landlords. They have been a gold mine for us.
So we wholesale to buy and hold. Our main end goal is to build a massive portfolio of buy and hold rentals. 30,000 units, 50,000 units. That's what we're going to get to in the next 10 years. Why? Because there's so many benefits. Guys, we love wholesaling. I love it. This is the best business I've ever been in. But it is a job.
Right.
Once you stop wholesaling, once you stop flipping,
check stop.
Your income stops. What if you have a slow month?
Right.
That's why you need to build passive residual income with rental properties. The benefits, you're going to get cash flow. You're going to get appreciation. You're going to build up equity. You get favorable tax treatment, as our mentor, Mr. Robinson, always teaches us. Depreciation. Those are all benefits of rental properties. Who wants that mailbox money? Mailbox money, right? That money's gonna keep coming in. Every first of the month, let's say you got 20 rental units, every first of the month, you're getting checks. Even if 2 of them are vacant and 2 of them are not paying, you're still getting 18 checks.
And when they don't pay,
they don't stay.
We got
don't pay, don't stay. We got it from Mr. Robinson.
Mr. Robinson, we going downtown, okay?
When's rent due?
Due on the 1st, late on the 5th, we going downtown on the 8th.
So how do we take down buy and holds? Again, as a wholesaler, you're in an amazing position because you're getting these properties at 30, 40, 50 cents on the dollar. So leverage your W-2, leverage that job to go to the bank and get financing. Hey, listen, I work at so-and-so, I make $60,000 a year, I want to buy this property. Okay, the banker's going to say, let me see your credit score, let me see your tax returns. Put down 10, 20%, they're going to give you the money. We leverage other people's money, the banks, private investors, to make more money. Cash, right? Again, you can use other people's money to do your deals. We do a lot of wholesale deals. So wholetailing, that is actually buying the property, and again, we take our profits from wholesaling and we put that into buying more properties. So for example, we came across a house, it was $12,500, and we bought a single family house for it. I know it sounds crazy if you're from California, Boston, New York. We bought a single family house for $12,000. We got under contract. So we're like, should we wholesale this? Should we keep it? We're like, you know what? Let's take it down with our own cash. So we bought it. We own it now. And then we put it on the MLS. Put it on the multiple listing service so that now the whole world can see that property. It's hard to find deals on the MLS. So you think if you got a property listed on the MLS for 30 grand, the ARV is 100,000, and it needs 30,000 to work, you guys think you'll get some phone calls on that? we got a ton of calls. We sold that property we bought for $12,500 for $32,000 in less than a month.
That's a good way also to use private money. Use someone else's money to take that deal down. We use private money a lot for our hotel deals.
Subject to seller financing. I know Brian's going to get into this a little bit later, but you can actually use the seller as the bank. Hey, Mr. Seller, I know you want to sell this property. How about this? I'll give you $1,000 down. I'll pay you $500 a month for X amount of years. Sometimes if they don't want to take that tax hit from selling to you for all cash, they'll be willing to seller finance it. And guys, just remember this. Not everybody's going to be willing to accept a cash offer. Not every seller. Only statistically, and I'm a numbers guy, only 5 to 10% of 100 sellers that you talk to are going to want to accept a cash offer. What that means is that 90 to 95% of the people you talk to are going to want retail or close to it. So what do you do with those leads? And we found out that we were throwing away a lot of leads by only trying to wholesale everything. We were throwing away leads. So we said, we need to figure out some other exit strategies to make money on these deals that they're not willing to accept a cheap cash offer. So that's why you must continue to educate yourself, learn about how do I do subject to deals? How do I do lease options? How do I do these creative finance deals? So again, the goal is passive income. That mailbox money so you can live the lifestyle that you want to live. So these are some of the tools we use every single day in our business. I know you guys always ask about tools. Investor Fuse, that's our CRM. Investor Fuse. I live in that tool. I'm in Investor Fuse every single day because I do the sales, I do the negotiations. She's the VP of lead generation.
Deal machine.
We've already talked about deal machine.
Call Rail, that's where we store all of our phone numbers. So that's also how we were able to become virtual. We had a different number for every single market that we were in. Another little hack I did for Deal Machine with being virtual. I said, well, man, you have to have a return address for a Deal Machine in all these markets. Yep. I said, okay, find me an abandoned vacant house in this state. Boom, I got my address. Threw that address on as my return.
So you're in North Carolina, you're trying to do deals in Philly, you put that return address of that abandoned building.
Right.
There you go. What else? REI Black Book. So REI Black Book is our website. That's the marketing community. It's kind of like Carrot, but it's a little different. That's what we use for our website is REI Black Book. Any REI Black Book folks? I heard a couple. Deal Check. Deal Check is a deal analysis software. So for anyone who's analytical, and we should all be analytical in real estate because it's all about the numbers. If the numbers don't make sense, it doesn't make dollars. So.
Yep, Rent Tech Direct, our property management software for people who are buying and holding. We got this information from our coach, Mr. Robinson. That's where we store all the information on all of our properties, all of our tenants, things of that nature. Evernote, a note-taking app. That's where we share and constantly are taking notes every day, all day, keeping our schedules together, to-do lists. All of that stuff is in Evernote. Sign Now. I don't know when's the last time we've actually been to a closing.
Yeah, we do all our closings remote.
Virtual.
They're like, you want to come to the office and close? No.
Nope.
No, we'll do it remote, electronically.
Google Drive. Document storage. Everyone knows what Google Drive is. What's next for Be Polite Properties? Multifamily investing. Doors, doors, doors. That's what we're all about. All the properties that we buy in different states are multifamily. It must be at least 3 doors or more for us to consider it in a different state. We're not buying a single family house in Alaska that's going to cash flow us $200. It don't make sense. So multifamily investing. So what do? We're going to make sure we get educated, go to the best there is on how to obtain and take down more multifamily properties. Land development.
Yeah, land development. We're going to be developing our own community, our own subdivision. We're coming across so much land. We're like, hey, why don't we just make Polite Village or whatever? We haven't even come up with a name, but that's what we're going to do. But that's what's possible with this business, guys. A year ago, if you would have told us that we're doing half of the things we're doing now, I would not have believed you. I would have laughed at you. But it's just so powerful being in this business. Franchise investments.
We are currently looking at a few different franchises. We are taking this real estate money and investing it in other avenues, other passive incomes. So right now we're looking at about 2 to 3 different franchises that we may want to invest in and take down. Property management and real estate sales division. We are doing our own learning from our own properties, property management, because we want to, our next phase is to have a property management company in Boston and North Carolina. So we are learning with all of our properties, but that's our next step. I'm actually getting my real estate license, so my classes start next month.
Why get your license?
Because you have to realize that, like he said, a lot of these leads are not wanting wholesale deals, so we're throwing away a lot of them. Where if I had my license, we'd be able to list these properties now. And because we have amazing coaches who are doing this now, we have an example that we can model. And that's the direction that we've always wanted to go in. So it makes sense for us in our market, know your market, to have one of us to have a real estate license.
I don't have a license. I don't plan to get one.
No, so it benefits us from what we've learned for one of us to have our license and the other not to have his license. So that's just our journey.
Turnkey one-on-one program. We're going to start a turnkey investment program for people who have capital. They want to invest, but they have a job. They have to work 80 hours a week. They don't have the time or even the inclination, but they see what we're doing and they want to be a part of it. We're going to start a one-on-one program where we'll find them a house for a wholesale price in North Carolina. We have the contractors to renovate it and fix it up. We'll find them a tenant. We have a property management company, so we'll manage it for them. And we're going to have a whole turnkey system for investors to guarantee their returns. So stay tuned for that.
Polite Investment Group. We are literally forming an investment group of individuals for us to be able to take down larger deals, multi-million-dollar deals. We've come across a lot of deals for 40, 50 units. And an investment group comes in handy when you have those deals. So we're actually starting one of those soon. Really private investment group. We have, your network is your net worth.
Absolutely.
Remember that. So within our network, we have a ton of individuals who contact us like, hey, D, I got $250,000, but I'm not flipping, no hammer, I'm not swinging nothing. What can I do with it? What can you do with it? And these are the calls that he gets every single day. What can I do with it? So that's why the investment group. Kidpreneur. So our 5-year-old son, he kept watching this. You guys seen with kids, Ryan's toy review?
Anybody got kids, Ryan's toy review?
Lord, this kid is a multimillionaire at like 5 or 6.
From doing tour reviews on YouTube.
Doing tour reviews. So my son kept watching them, and then I'm at the store buying this $3, $4 Kinder egg that I don't know anything about, and he tells me about this kid, so I look him up, and I'm like, hey, listen, you're not gonna spend time watching him when you could be making your own money.
Right.
I don't play them games. So I said, hey, listen, you wanna do your own toy reviews? He said, absolutely. I said, boom, we on it. So we're gonna buy him a franchise and document his journey within this franchise. Where? Through income from real estate. So he's gonna be doing his tour reviews and his journey, and he loves basketball and sports. But you in our house, you got to make some money.
Gotta bring in some money.
You got to bring that check in. So we're gonna buy a franchise for him, a separate one just for him, brand it around him, and have start his journey to entrepreneurship.
Thank you. Thank you. And guys, if we can do this, you can do this. We are
a lot of people like, yo, y'all are go-getters. We like to think ourselves as go-givers. We love to give back. If I had my way, I would give everything away. My husband would be like, listen.
What we gonna have?
Pump your brakes. I would literally give everything away.
So that's why she doesn't do negotiations?
I sure don't.
Because the seller will be like, I want 50 grand, and she'll be like, just give it to him. And I'm like, no, we need this low.
So do us a favor, everyone, take your phones out. We actually have an ebook that we're giving away.
For free.
For free. Look, phones came out then. You see people, you see it. As soon as you said free, it's like, okay, all right, give it away for free. Just text that number. Daddy, switch it. It's on the screen.
Okay. So text 617-917-3077. Everybody can read. Text POLITE, which is our last name, to that number. It'll pull up a form, put in your name and email address, and we'll email you our free 17-page ebook.
On Driving for Dollars. So, questions?
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
So Q&A, start lining up, ask us anything.
Hello, my name is George, and I'm here with my wife, Griselda, and we're from Dallas, so thank you. We've learned a lot from you guys. My wife is actually planning on getting her real estate license for the same purpose as you guys. So my question is, are you guys planning on using a brokerage, or how would you handle that? Because obviously they would take a big percentage from that.
I didn't hear you.
So his question was,
Are you guys planning on using a brokerage
When
to
you
work
get your real
under
estate
with your
license?
real estate license?
Yeah, well, when I get my real estate license, I'm gonna go under a brokerage. And then eventually, once I get to that, I think it's a certain amount of time, 2 years, that you have to have your license, then you can go for your brokerage.
yeah, we'll have to start
and
our
then
own.
I'll start the brokerage.
Have you guys heard of something that you do online and just pay a fee like $500?
That don't even sound legal.
No. I was just curious because it's there. So
No, I'm gonna take that class, brother.
yeah. Thank you very much.
Take that class.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi guys, my name's Lo. I'm from Chicago, and
Chi-town.
first off, just thank you for being here. Your clothes make me feel like we're all gonna go on a cruise ship and collect passive income. So I'm digging it. And also, I was just wondering, do you have a timeline in regards to when you might switch completely to collecting passive income, or do you imagine you will be doing something in regards to a day-to-day work, or what will that look like, and do you have an idea of the timeline?
Yes, we will switch to him having a W-2 once our passive income exceeds his W-2.
Okay.
Right, yeah, so we have a target of what we want to make monthly.
Monthly.
After all mortgages are paid, all expenses, a net monthly income that we're going to hit, and at that point, I'll be able to walk away from my corporate job.
Oh, so is this considered your corporate job, or do you still have another?
I still have a W-2 job,
Yep.
Oh, okay.
but I'm doing the business full-time as well.
Wow, okay. You're killing it. Okay, and then also just one other question really quick in regards to the relationship aspect, because my husband and I are going to be doing this as well together, and you guys are an awesome example. What does that look like within the home, if you could just give a few sentences even?
It is amazing. Why? Because we get to talk about something we both love all day, every day. So it's not a struggle, like, oh my God, because one spouse don't understand like why I'm spending so much time or what have you.
Yeah.
When you throw in kids and stuff, it's a lot more chaotic. But at the fact that we both are in this together, it makes it much, much easier.
And this is what we wanted.
Right.
When I got married, I didn't want my wife to have to work for someone else. I wanted her to not
That's
have to
right.
work, right? You're not working for someone else. If you choose to work, you're gonna work in our family business. And we're living our dream where we both get to work and do something we love with the person we love. So
Amen.
Yep.
it's beautiful.
I love it. Thank you guys. God
Thank
bless.
you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Felicia Cox, and I just truly, truly adore you guys.
Thank you.
My husband and I, we have a fitness business called Marriage and Muscles, so we totally believe in marriage. And that's what really connected us. Well, now I have a new passion, real estate, passive
Yes.
income,
Awesome.
wholesaling. Well, the challenge I'm having is getting my husband on board with it. Well, I closed my first wholesale deal in 90 days, and I'm like,
Congratulations.
See, I told you,
Woo!
we can do this.
That's faster than us.
But I'm still trying to get him to get over to this side. I mean, because we love the fitness business, it's successful, we love it, but I see a bigger vision with real estate. So what kind of advice can you give me to get my husband on board?
The advice that I would give you is, and you said you've closed what, one deal?
One deal in 90 days.
90 days. So I would say keep closing deals, pass him the check.
Yes.
Honey, I need you to deposit that. Wait,
Okay.
what happened? And he's gonna ask you like, well, where you get this 20,000? You
Okay.
30,000. Oh, don't worry about that. Go on and deposit that for me. Look, this
Don't worry
little,
about that.
this little wholesale thing,
Right.
you know, I got going.
Okay.
Oh, wow, really? And then you ask him, I'm sorry, what is it that you're making again? And sometimes I'm very direct.
Yeah, she
You
is.
got to put it in people's face.
Yes.
Listen, when I fired my boss, our next wholesale deal was more than what I made in a year.
Awesome.
We lied.
lied.
That's why you got to put it in people's face what
Okay.
what wholesaling can really, really do. And when you have two people doing it, you can do it at a much faster rate and more efficient rate.
Okay.
When you have two people. And I tell people all the time, and I know a lot of you guys we be kicking it with during the breaks and stuff, they'll tell you, I told them the same thing, is nobody better to be your partner than the one you go to sleep with every
Absolutely.
single night.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So put it in his face and just say, hey, listen, this is what I'm doing. What he's gonna start, his wheels are gonna start spinning and be like, oh,
Okay.
well, what is it that you are actually doing out here to get these
Okay.
deals?
How can I help?
How can I help? Things of that nature, and then you start hitting him with stuff that he can do.
Okay.
Find out what his strengths are first.
Okay.
Find out what it is that, he may be great at before
Comes
you
naturally to him.
That
Okay.
comes natural to him.
Okay.
Sales don't come natural to me, so I don't meet with sellers.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Keep doing what you're doing. Y'all, don't they make y'all want to go get married? Y'all like the best couple. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, what's going on, you guys? My name is Steve. I'm from Tyler, Texas,
Hey.
hour or so away from here.
Yep.
It's an emerging market. I really, before I say that, I've been an entrepreneur since I was 14. And I've done the
what's up.
garage selling like Gary Vee was talking about.
Yep.
And I thought I was the only one doing that stuff, but I guess not. So I started wholesaling about 5 years ago, but not a lot of people do it like you guys do. And so you guys really got my attention, extremely inspired because you're doing your business model is probably most similar to what I've been doing. Taking down stuff, owner finance, cherry picking the deals that are the best and trying to find a way to fund them and using wholesaling money to reinvest and build the portfolio.
Right.
Absolutely.
And when you said multifamily, that's when I really got excited because, for the past 3 years or so, I've been trying to, transition into or get involved in small apartments. And then you guys said mobile home parks. And I actually have one right now, a signed agreement on one. And it's a super deal because I'm really picky. Like if you know your business, you can't just waste your time on everybody who wants to sell, right? And so I've taken my time and I found a really good mobile home park. Matter of fact, about 2 or 3 of them, but I have a signed agreement on one. When I go to the banks, when I talk to buyers and whatnot, they don't seem as excited about mobile home parks as you guys did. And so, but I saw it, I'm like, wow, this is a cash cow, like you guys said. And so would you guys recommend me trying to fund these type of deals? And then at the same time, I would love to know if y'all would let me work with y'all some kind of way on the multifamily.
Great question. Do you have the deal under contract?
I sure do, yeah.
You do, okay. So you need to find a bank or a banker that has an appetite for that type of asset. Certain banks, they prefer single family. Certain banks prefer residential, small, 1 to 4 units. Certain banks prefer commercial, where they need to see 10 to 20 to 100 units. So I just don't think you're talking to the right bank if you're going to banks trying to get financing.
Do this also when we leave and we come out, see us, because we have a ton of people who all they do is invest in mobile home parks. They don't want anything but mobile home parks. So you're just getting with the wrong people, but see us afterwards and we'll,
Okay.
and we'll
Thank
hook
you
you
guys.
up.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Hey.
guys. So, my fiance and I love you. So really, my question is just like, how do we get a mentorship under you? Like,
Oh, you're just gonna put us on the spot, right?
yes.
You're gonna put it out there. Contact me.
How?
Gonna put me on the spot again, huh? Gonna throw you under the
I'll
bus.
come see you after if you want.
See me afterwards because, you know, I would love to work with you too.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Okay.
How you guys doing? Derek Johnson, Magnolia Johnson Estates. First of all, I want to congratulate you guys for what I deem is a power, successful couple in our community.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, my question was, when you guys brainstorm for a joint venture, how do you guys separate the personal emotion of what you want to invest in versus the business logic as a couple?
As a couple, because we have a point where we shut it off, business off. So if we're talking business, we are literally just talking business. We don't bring any personal feelings into it. We, at a certain point of the day, at a certain point of the day, now look, at a certain point of the day, when business is done, I'm gonna come back around that corner on them. I wanna talk to you for a second.
Gotcha. Thank you.
So that's basically how it is. Cut it off at a certain point and try and stick with, you know how when people say they argue about something, don't bring in old stuff. Talk about business and business only. Separate it from your personal, and then when you talk about personal, let some time go by, come back and be like, hey, I gotta talk to you for a second.
And again, we're human, so we have our moments where we have disagreements.
All the time.
Every day.
We're gonna have a disagreement when we go off this stage. That's just life.
Because we're only human, but our love and our respect for each other transcends any business. So at the end of the day, that's the foundation of it.
Yep.
Okay. And my second one, man, can I just get the name of that book one more time that you guys said it was a visionary versus the integrator?
Traction. Traction is the book by Gino Wickman.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
Few quick questions. First and foremost, thank y'all for being here. Love you.
Thank you.
So for systems and tools, first off, how long have y'all been in the business? For the deal, let's see here, I done lost it. For the CMA, do y'all have investor fuse with CMA? And what other things are y'all using for lead gen other than Deal Machine?
Yeah, so lead gen, we do cold calling, we do direct mail, we do ringless voicemail, we do bandit sign. We do a little bit of everything that everybody who's come up here has told you about. And whatever's working, we do more of. It's not rocket science. Whatever's not working, we shut it off or we do less of.
And because we're virtual, it ties into what's working also for that market. So in Boston, we have different marketing going on that's in North Carolina. So bandit signs may work in North Carolina where they may not work in Boston. So it just also depends on the market.
Okay.
Any other questions?
And then Investor Fuse, does it have a CMA?
CMA, like a comparative market analysis?
Yes.
Investor Fuse pulls data from Zillow, so it's going to give you the Zillow estimate, but take that for what it's worth.
We actually use, to pull our comps, we actually use two different places. We use RealQuest and we use Collateral Analytics.
Okay. And then how long have y'all been in the business? Just curious.
Well, my husband's been doing real estate since when?
I bought my first investment property in 2007. I was 25. I'm 37 now. But I didn't buy another property for another 10 plus years. So really in wholesaling, we started learning about wholesaling in January of 2017. We didn't close our first deal until a year and a half later. So just to give you some perspective, but it wasn't overnight. Don't get me wrong, guys. This isn't get rich quick. This is not overnight success. This is a lot of failures and bumping our heads and learning and coming back again and paying for information. So it's a process.
And what really got us through, remember my husband said in the beginning, we were sitting in a mastermind that our very first mentor recommended us to go to, and we didn't want to go to it at all. It was a boot camp for marketing. So if you are not great at marketing, I would definitely suggest you try a boot camp that's strictly for marketing.
Yes.
And she said, she kept pushing, did you sign up, did you sign up, did you sign up? We was like, okay. So we finally went ahead and signed up. We ended up joining their mastermind, paying
$15,000.
$15,000 and we had 0 deals. I don't suggest that for everyone, but if you have it to invest, go right ahead.
Now remember, we had a checking and a savings. We didn't have $15,000. But what we did is we had business credit.
Right.
from owning businesses. So I encourage everybody who has an LLC, apply for a business credit card in your business name.
Absolutely.
Get a business credit card. So now these marketing expenses, oh, I got to spend $2,000 on signs, I got to spend a double. Don't put that on your personal, put it on your business. And trust me, when you spend money on marketing, that money's going to come back if you do what you need to do.
Right.
Thank you. Continuous success to you both.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, guys, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you,
We love
guys.
y'all.